What's up, y'all? I'm laughing because I just noticed this stuff on my shirt. I was feeding my daughter earlier, man. But anyway, I wanted to speak on this real quick. So a young lady asked about what I meant by covert narcissist. I mentioned it in my last live chat. Some of y'all may have seen the one I did yesterday. But a covert narcissist is essentially the same thing as a narcissist, except instead of the typical characterization of a narc who's just all about themselves and look at me, and grandiose demeanor, you know, really charming to the outside public and family and friends, but behind closed doors, they're a complete monster and demonic. A covert narcissist has more of a passive, underhanded, hard to pinpoint way of being the narcissist. So it's actually, I believe, a lot more dangerous dealing with a covert narcissist. Now, just as a side note, you can't go around diagnosing anybody. They got to get diagnosed by a mental health professional, but you can identify aspects of a person that resemble a narcissist, narcissistic traits. You can absolutely speak to whether or not a person is representing a narcissistic relational style of engaging with you, because that will allow you to protect yourself. It's different protecting yourself against somebody who's just flawed and human, and, you know, at times y'all ain't on the same page, I'll get into it, versus a narcissist. Why is that? Because a narcissist will ruin you if given the opportunity. A narcissist is not looking for, you know, help. They're not looking for reason. They're not looking for common ground. They're looking to self-preserve. At least that's my understanding of a narcissist. You know, a lot of people, again, think a narc is just this demonic person or whatever. And I do believe there's some of that going on. But I believe a narcissist at the core are broken people who will use and consume any and everybody as a way of trying to sustain themselves or their ego or their identity or this disillusion they have of themselves. And they've become numb to the way that they hurt other people. That's important to understand if you've ever dealt with a narc, because you got to stop personalizing what they do and understand it's something internal in them. Not that you need to fix them. You probably need to get away from them. But back to what a covert narcissist is. Think passive aggressive with everything a covert narcissist does. The way that they attack, the way that they manipulate, the way they just go about life. Everything is covert. Even when it comes to bringing importance to themselves and highlighting their importance over other people. They don't do it by saying, look at me, a mirror everywhere, and, you know, charming everybody. They do it by playing a victim. That's what a covert narcissist does. It's different from a malignant narcissist, the grandiose personality, the typical characterization. A covert narcissist will blame any and everybody else for where they're at in life. They're never at fault. You know, like nobody deserves to be happy outside of them or around them. Nobody deserves to be successful. If you ever are with a covert narcissist and somebody else is doing something good, they'll poke holes in it. They never can just truly be happy for anybody else or happy for you, especially in any way that doesn't directly benefit them. But a covert narcissist will do that woe is me and render sympathy from you as a way of drawing in your loyalty, as a way of hooking you, as opposed to what you get from a malignant narcissist who will do all of these great love bombing things to just infatuate you and stuff like that. A covert narcissist is a little bit different. Actually, I think it's worse because it is underhanded and it's hard to pinpoint. So again, passive aggressive communication, passive aggressive attacks. If a covert narcissist sees you having a thriving, flourishing relationship with a family member or friend, they're going to feel threatened by that. Why? Because narcissists are big on ownership. Like, you're not a person. In a narc's mind, you don't exist as a person. You exist as a service to sustain them. Their fragile ego, their identity of themselves, that's all you exist as. So whenever you have friendships and you have relationships outside of them, that comes as a threat that person is taking or being able to enjoy something that belongs to them. So what you'll see is, instead of a covert narc saying, you know what, I noticed something. Whenever you were having a good time with your sister or your friend, your cousin or whatever, I noticed some deep triggers based on irrational fear. They're going to take you away from me, and therefore I need to go get help because I don't want this to come between us. A covert narc is not going to do that unless they're self-aware and don't want to be a narc anymore, which is very rare for a narcissist. Instead, what a covert narc will do is sabotage that friendship, sabotage that relationship. They'll do so with discomfort. If you've ever, let me put it like this, especially y'all that have lived with a person and you suspect them of being a covert narc, you know, at least this is one sign. If you've had a friend, family member, cousin or something like that, that person, they never did nothing wrong to your man. Or fellas, if you're watching this, vice versa, because, you know, covert narcs can be man or woman. They never did nothing wrong to them. And then the covert narc will make them feel unwelcome. that the covert narc will somehow, just like express some type of little underhanded jab towards them, or after they leave, the covert narc has some type of little smart remark, or the body language, something says, I don't like this person being here, but that person ain't never did nothing wrong. Your friend, your family member ain't never. That covert narc is trying to let their discomfort be a wedge. And basically, they're going to put you in a position where you have to choose between continuing that relationship or the relationship you have with the covert narc. And they're going to look for the first opportunity to pit you against that person, to pit y'all's relationship against that friend or that family member's relationship. Oh, you always want to be with them. Oh, you talk to them, but they ain't talk to me. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible for you to, get priorities out of order. You want to spend every day with your girls, or fellas want every day with your boy. You don't want to give your relationship partner no time and nothing like that. I'm talking about just off rip and consistently every single relationship has, like, this person just has some type of issue with it unless it goes through them or somehow benefits them. And then whenever you try to communicate, don't expect to communicate with no covert narcissist. They don't care nothing about no middle ground. They don't care nothing about reaching an agreement. All they want to do is keep you in this emotional maze. Put I down in the chat if you've ever dealt with somebody who it felt like, if you asked questions about what was wrong, you left that conversation frustrated. Or if you communicated what frustrations that you had, you felt invalidated. Or if you tried to get help, or you recommended help, counseling or something like that, a YouTube video, a book, or a podcast, or a program that you guys could take sitting down with a pastor, you felt humiliated. You felt embarrassed. If you guys actually went through it, if they actually agree, because a covert narc will only agree to do something like that with you if they already have in their mind how they can sabotage that and somehow triangulate third party against you into validating them. That's whenever a covert narc will get you in an emotional maze. The more that you try to fix things, you can't even find your way back to what you used to be and how you used to think and how happy you used to be. But the further you go in, the deeper you go in. And the more you get entrenched in, how do I get this right? How do I fix this? Ain't no fixing it. I was talking to a young lady earlier today, and she's been married. I don't want to say the exact time because some people be watching these videos and they're like, are you talking about me? Yes, but she was married, I say about 15 years, right? To this guy, suspected covert narc. He did the same thing. She said, how do I deal with him? Should I give it a last try and go to counseling? Should we go to marriage counseling? I said, no. And it's not that I don't believe in marriage counseling, but like, before you suggest marriage counseling to a suspected narc, they need to go to therapy. That's the only way. I get it. Just because you identify somebody's bad for you don't mean you could just walk out. It's different leaving a person versus leaving a marriage, leaving a family, leaving a business, leaving years and years and years together. I get it. But when it comes to a covert narc or somebody you suspect to be a covert narc, you got to think of it like quicksand. Like a quicksand for your soul. The longer you just stand in that, the deeper you're going to go and the more likely you are to drown. So you have to recommend personal therapy, where they go and they get an opportunity to be heard and to work through this and have somebody that's going to keep it real and give them a personal agenda, what they need to do, and or you leave. I think in both instances, though, you should stop the relationship and you get therapy. And that's what I told her. You need therapy just like he needs therapy, because one of the things a narc will do is they will have you so consumed with them, you ain't working on you. And then your freedom papers from a covert narcissist, really any narcissist at this point, your freedom papers from dealing with that person is your purpose and your peace, putting that number 1 and 2 under God. Your purpose, in which if you put in God first, that's what he wants to be first anyway. But your purpose and your peace. What a narc will do is they'll have you so consumed with fixing them, with identifying what's wrong with them, with how to talk to them, a new angle, some type of new explanation that you want. And it'll take, that's why if you deal with a narc long enough, you will barely be able to recognize yourself. Your friends and family will start noticing something is wrong with you. Your work will start falling behind. Your weight will go up and down in unhealthy ways. You won't like the things that you used to do. Why? Because your focus is strictly on them. How do I get them together? They'll put you in situations that if you don't figure it out, you won't have peace at night. You won't be able to sleep. You won't be able to think. Your happiness will be gone. And essentially it'll be in their hands, waiting on their explanation, waiting on their closure, waiting on their apology, waiting on their acknowledgement and them taking responsibility for what they did wrong to you. You know, waiting on them, essentially. The power will be in their hands. And again, with a covert narcissist, is so hard because the longer you're around them and the more vulnerable you were, you know, when they first started showing that mask, the more susceptible you are to whatever they've been telling you, because you're humble and you'll drop your standards to try and create common ground with a covert narcissist. And then at that point, again, you're indignified. You're not yourself. You don't have your normal dignity in the situation. So it's hard to stand on that same strength that you came into the relationship with, because they stripped you of it over time. Now, again, I see a lot of y'all already saying you just need to leave. Yes, I agree. But it's hard to just leave. That's why I always give like steps to do it, because I want you to be practical. If you can't just up and pack your bags, walk out right now, the best thing you can do is say, you know what, right now, I don't need to operate in relationship role whatsoever. I need therapy. You need therapy. The only way we're going to be together is for us to both come out better. And I see the fruits of your therapy. And I know that it's safe for me to come and be with you again. That's the only alternative to straight out leaving. If you can leave, leave. But you need to get you back. That's the most important thing. Anything that starts to threaten your peace, shut it down. No conversations. Any type of sex that has you getting your hopes up just to get crushed again, shut it down. No sex, no affection, no time spent, no dates. No, we're not doing that right now. We got other things to focus on. You need to pull back attention from all of that stuff while you put attention where it needs to go, so you can get back where you need to be. So all of that stuff that got you confused and threatening your peace, shut it down. Everything that you was doing to achieve your purpose, to go further in life, to build on your dreams, to create opportunities for your family members, for, you know, a legacy for your children, put that back first all over again. And if the relationship can't survive that, it can't survive you being the best version of yourself. And it don't need to be a relationship anymore. Because if you were with an evolved man, all you're going to notice is that you're getting closer to the best version of yourself. You're getting closer to God. You're getting more peace. You focus better. Your mental health is improving. Yeah, y'all have y'all issues. Even with an evolved man, you're going to have your issues. But you're going to notice as a generality, like them graphs they be using, you know what I'm saying, the business chart, it goes like this, like the stock market, it just goes like this. There are some dips, but ultimately it's like this. As opposed to with a covert narc, you notice like you like that. And then you end up begging the narc to pull you back up. And the more that you beg, the more power they know that they have to drive you further down. But if you get an evolved man, and some evolved men used to have high narcissistic traits until they decided to be more self-aware and they go get help. And look, I'm not in the business of telling y'all to raise men, to fix men, because like I said, it comes at the price of the best years of your life and oftentimes your destiny, because there's a window for everybody. We ain't got forever here. I'm a big fan of dating men who are already grown, especially if you over the age of 35. Now, you 18, 19 years old, you might got a lot of growing to do yourself. But whenever you 30, even 25 or up, you ain't got time to be raising and fixing and giving therapy and paying for therapy and forcing somebody to read books they don't want to read, see pastors and third parties they don't want to see as a way of becoming better with them. And you can't build a good relationship on a faulty foundation. It's like trying to build a great house whenever the wood is eaten by termites and rotten. You got to get the pieces inside right first. That covert narc, if he termite eaten and rotten and broken and hurting, he got to get the wood right before he come in and try to build any type of house with you. Same thing goes for you. So once you get you right, if you can get away from that narc and you decide, oh, I want somebody who's on my level, now you look for the wood that's good. You look for the sheet. You look for the materials that come already evolved. Now, if you want more information on how to do that, on how to attract men that you don't have to fix, you don't have to look up all of this information to assess and try to diagnose that they're a narc or not, because you can see it's blatantly clear that they are evolved in their thinking and their compassion and their kindness and their ambition and the way that they approach the relationship with you as a priority under God. Click the link right here. I gave the strategies for free on how to attract an evolved man. Secrets to making evolved men crave you. I put that link right here in the pinned comment. If you don't see it, just back out, click the link that's in the caption. The link will take you to the masterclass. It's free. Go ahead and get access before this video comes down so you don't miss it. It's free. Over an hour, I'm dropping gems on how to attract evolved men. But back to what I was saying. When you're dealing with a covert narc, you can't go just by any one particular situation, But as a generality, if you're seeing that this person is not putting forth a genuine, sincere effort to continuously compromise the same way that you do, to reciprocate the same way that you reciprocate the good that they do give you, if you notice that this person is night and day different from what the people see versus what you getting behind closed doors, if you notice that in your conversations, you're just in this spin cycle, it never feels like you're going forward unless you completely come to them and then they're happy. But if they never want to come to you, if they never want to acknowledge what they did wrong, if it's always you to blame, if there's just this negative magnetic energy around them that sucks all of the good and all of the magic out of everybody, especially you, that gets close to them, you're probably dealing with a covert narcissist. And yes, you need to get out as soon as possible. They need therapy, not a relationship. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Share this if you got anything from this right now. Bless somebody else on your timeline because they need it the same way you probably need it before you came across this video. And also, if you're in the market for an evolved man, click the link pinned right here. This link that's pinned right here. Click that link, get access to the free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You, where I broke down the strategies that have already worked for thousands of women on how to attract much higher quality men.